The problem, too many apps, they're not organized, and where are they on your cell phone? Windows installs programs and smartphones have apps. When installing a program on Windows, the program becomes united with the operating system. It is like a tree with an extensive root system. Removing the tree is often difficult and leaves behind residual files. This is why I rarely install or delete programs on my Windows machine. On a smartphone, we have apps. On the Android phone and Chromebook, these apps sit on the surface of the operating system. The operating system actually treats the apps as hostile and doesn't allow any interaction. Because apps do not alter the operating system, you can install and delete as many as you want. Now don't be afraid to delete an app. Some of you don't know how to do this, so let me explain. You'll see here we have an Adobe app sitting on the lower left-hand corner here. When I click on this, and we long press it, we're going to drag it up to the top here, and we're going to uninstall it. So let's see how this works. And the uninstall is there. We just drop it over the uninstall. Do you want to uninstall this? And you say OK, and it's gone. When you install an app, it often is put on a blank page. You have too many pages with one or two apps on them. This makes it very hard to find your apps. So let's say we had an app called Wemo, and we wanted to find this app and put it in a more important place on my phone. Let's see how we might find it. This is my home page on my phone. Let's see if we can find the Wemo app. Page 2. Not there. Page 3. Not there. Page 4. Not there. Page 5. Not there. And page 6. We finally find the Wemo app. Another way to find out where your apps are is to do a page up on your smartphone. And this will list all your apps in alphabetical order. Let's swipe up on this menu, on this page, and see what happens. As we swipe up, you will see all your apps all in alphabetical order. This is another way in which you can find your apps. Now let's move some apps and eliminate some of those blank pages. Let's see how to do that. Now this is page 2 on my phone, and you'll see that there are some blank areas here. There's a couple of apps we could put here and one that we could put up here. So let's go and find those apps and move them. So we keep going to the right, and we find an app called Audible. It's all by itself on a page, but we have some blank areas before. So we're going to long press on this, and we're going to drag it to the left, and we're going to drop it in that space there, which is on page 2, making it a lot easier to find. Let's see, this is page 1. Now we've moved it up and made it a lot easier to find on page 2. Let's go back. We're now on page 4 and page 5. So here's our Wemo app. Let's move it to the blank area. There we go. And we're going to drop it on page 2 in a blank area there. Let's go back to another blank page. Long press on the file app. If you click on it, it'll open it. So just long press on it, and we're going to drag it to the left. And we're going to place it again on page 2 in that blank spot. Now watch as I go to the right. This is page 3, but I can't go any further right because there were no apps on those 3 pages now, so the Android system deleted those pages. So now we've condensed our the pages on our smartphone down to 3, which makes it easier to find your apps. Now, another way to make your apps more available is to put them in a folder. So let me show how to make a folder. In this demonstration, we have a medical widget here. We'll talk about widgets in a minute. And we have the Google Drive app. These two are sitting on my phone on a page, and I want to put them in a folder. By putting it in a folder, I will be able to move them to another page where there is not as much real estate. So to make the folder, we just drag one of the apps on top of the other, and this gives us a, this brings up another menu and makes it able to make a folder, and we're going to call the folder Receipts. And now we have put these two apps into a folder, and we've made it called Receipts. Then we're going to move this so we can eliminate that page. We're going to move it up forward onto page 3, which is right here, and that will eliminate a page. Now this is my home page, and I wanted to go over the way I've designed and set it up. Again, there is no correct way to do this. This is a personal choice, but this is how I've done it. I wanted to draw your attention to 2 things before we look at the folders. On the top left-hand corner, you're going to see a widget, and this is, we'll talk about widgets in a minute, but this tells me how much data I have used on my data plan for my cell phone. And this is dynamically changes all the time. I also have a widget down in my phone section, and I'm going to demonstrate how that will work for making a call to my friend Byron. So let's see about the folders that I have. Oh, before we do that, I also have an emergency locator called My GPS Coordinates here, and we'll be talking about that in a minute. So this is how I've designed my my home page on my phone. So let's have a look and see how it's done. So at the top, you'll see I have maps. I have my shopping apps, which of course is great. I have the Google Play Store, which I keep that as a single app. I have my security apps, my photo apps, then LastPass and my contacts, which are not in folders, health apps, Google apps, which there are a lot of these, and watch, there's 2 pages. So even though they're in a folder, we can still have 2 pages. Financial apps, medical apps, restaurant apps. Some I haven't used restaurant apps lately. Darn it anyway. My podcast apps, my news app, and my phone apps. Authy is the an app I use for two-factor authentication. It generates the security codes for my two-factor authentication. I want to talk about my GPS coordinates. This this shows me my latitude and longitude should I get into an emergency situation. Let's see how this works. When I click on the app, it displays my latitude and my longitude. It then connects me into Google Maps and identifies exactly where my location is. This is a very good app to have on your home page because it allows for quick access of your latitude and longitude in case of an emergency. Now I want to show you the value of a widget. What are widgets? Widgets are simply part of the apps that you download. So when you download an app and install it on your smartphone, it may have one or more widgets associated with it. These are add-on programs that the developers have put there to make your experience with that app much better. Not all apps have widgets, and they don't really tell you whether they do have widgets or not. Sometimes it's in the program description when you download them, but a lot of times you just have to go and look in the widgets menu and see if there's a widget associated with your app. I would encourage you to do that because these widgets make your life so much easier. For example, I like to call my friend Byron lots, and I use an app called Duo. This is an excellent communication tool that works on iPhones and iOS and also Android. There's a widget associated with it, and with that you can create an icon for the person that you want to call. And the person who I often want to call is my friend Byron. And you will see that there's an icon here with Byron's picture in, and this is a widget. And it's made for the Duo app, and watch what happens when I click on the widget. I'm clicking on the widget now. It's going to connect with a video call. And here's my friend Byron, and we're going to have a chat. Now, if I hadn't used the widget, I'd have to open Duo up. I would have to then go into my contact list. I'd have to find Byron and then call him. But by using the widget, it allowed me just to click on that, and it immediately put through the call to Byron. And that's the advantage of using a widget. The example we're going to use today are 3 widgets associated with Google Drive. You'll see the widgets. This is the widget menu. On the left here, you'll see that when we come down, you'll see that in the widget menu, you'll see that Google Drive, and under Google Drive, you'll see that there are 3 widgets that you can make, and we're going to talk about these widgets. Unfortunately, there's nothing really written about it, so you have to sort of just try them and see how they work. The first widget is the one on the left here, and that makes this long black banner here on your screen. If you make the widget, this widget here, it makes the long black banner. And this allows you easy access to your Google Drive features. So it is a productivity screen. Now the second widget that you can make is this one, and I call this one your camera widget. It allows you to select a folder that you want to take a picture and store in Google Drive. And in this particular situation, I've created a widget so that anything I take a picture of will go right into my medical folder in Google Drive. I don't have to select any folders. The third widget that I'm going to demonstrate is the one to the right here. And in this situation, it does the same thing as the widget to the left does, but it goes into the folder mode and then takes the picture. And I'm going to demonstrate this now for you. And you can see how this would just be so much faster. And this is how we're going to add a widget. So we come up to the Widgets menu, and again, we're going to scroll down, until we find Google Drive, the Google Drive app. And here are the three widgets. And so you have the option now of making any of those three widgets. I'm not going to go through that now, of any three widgets that you wanted to make. So let's see how these work when we're actually using them. This is, but before we get into that, I'm just going to make a folder and put both these widgets in it. So again, this is how we make a folder. I'm going to drag the two of them together. And in this case, I'm going to call it Receipts, because we're going to store our medical receipts in these folders. And again, we've made a folder called Receipt, and we've put both our widgets in, and we're going to drag Google Drive down, and we're going to stick it in the same folder. So let's see how we would upload to Google Drive then. So if we have a receipt and we want to use this, we are going to use in this example, I'm going to use the one which I call the camera one. And this is where we take the picture and it's going to automatically upload it into Google Drive. So we're going to have a medical receipt and we want to put it into a medical folder on Google Drive. We've made a widget and it's going to take it and we've labeled it and it's going to move it up into Google Drive for us automatically by clicking this button. Very simple to do. Let's see how we do this. So now it brings, once we click the widget, it brings up the camera. We take a picture of it. There's the picture and we're going to say save. And you'll see your file is being uploaded to Google Drive. So now you'll see your receipt will be filed in the medical folder in Google Drive. Isn't that slick? It's so easy to do. Now let's look at the one where it is the folder icon, and let's see how it works. And we're going to choose the other widget that we made, and it's going to bring up the folder first. But we're not going to have to select that folder, but we are going to say scan it, and we're going to click the scan button, and then it's going to take a picture, and we're going to save it, and you can see it's being uploaded into Google Drive. The advantage of doing it that way would be is it gives you an option to change the folder if you want. So again, both widgets have some functionality and you have to decide which one would work best for you. Big time saver here, and I would strongly encourage you to look at your apps and see if there are widgets associated with it. I hope you've enjoyed the video on how to organize your smartphone. Remember, you could even have a folder on your main page and have all your apps in that one folder. That way all your apps would be on one page. The other thought you might want to consider is if you're uploading files to Google Drive, you could also have a shared folder on Google Drive, and if you wanted to store your receipts and maybe your wife wanted to store your receipts and keep them in the same folder, you could upload it to a shared folder. I'm now going to show you one final trick in Google Drive. I think you'll be very impressed with this. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please click the like, hit the bell, and subscribe. It's Ron Brown with Silvercom Computer and Technology Club. Finally, I want to show you a special feature about Google Drive. Now, what we're going to look at here is this file, which I know it's hard to see, but this is you can see this is a PDF file of an article I read in a magazine, and it has some recipes. And I saved it as a PDF file onto my Google Drive. I used the same technology with the Google Drive app with my phone, and this could be you sitting in a doctor's office waiting to have your appointment, and you see an article that you want to save. You take a picture with it with a widget from Google Drive, and you upload it to the cloud into Google Drive. Well, let's see how this works. We're going to open the file here, and this is going to open the PDF file. But what I'm going to do up at the top here, we're going to open this with Google Docs. So look what happens when we open this saved file with Google Docs. There's the article that I want. But let's see what we can do with this article. Oh, wow. This is impressive. So what has happened here is we have taken a picture out of a magazine, and we have uploaded it to Google Drive as a PDF image. Now, we've opened it in Google Docs, which has done an OCR on it, which is optical character recognition, and it's now created a completely text-based and editable document that we now can copy, move, adjust, put in any document reader we want, and it's completely editable. So you don't have to retype any articles. Isn't that amazing? I hope you've enjoyed the presentation on how to organize your smartphone.